My wife Wendy and I met through friends 7 years ago. Dated for 2 years and have been married for 5 years. I worked my tail off as an associate at my firm, putting in 60 hours a week for the first 2 years of our marriage. That effort paid off and I'm doing well professionally. Wendy was a teacher at a private school, but as soon as we got married, she quit so she could go back to school for her master's in education and is currently in an educational doctoral program while working part-time. This was a bit of financial strain, since I wanted to pay off my student loans as quickly as possible, but we managed. My wife had an old laptop that she was using when we started dating. I found it in a box in a closet. She said it crashed and wouldn't work any longer. I plugged it in, tried to turn it on. Nothing. When we met, Wendy took pictures of everything, primarily selfies of her with others. Knowing that she must have had some pictures of us from that time, I yanked the hard drive and looked at it. It seemed okay. The problem must have been somewhere else. Wanting to surprise her with pictures of when we first started dating, I waited until she left to go visit her sister before I plugged it into a SATA cable connector to my PC. There were pictures there, plenty of pictures. Some were of us on dates, laughing, smiling. They brought back some good memories. But there were also others of her with different people. One person in particular I remembered. His name was Bob and Wendy had dated him before me. There were lots of pictures of her and Bob. I wanted to grab only our pictures, so I thought the easiest way would be to organize them by date, figuring the latest pictures would be of only us. But when I clicked them by date, a lot of her pictures with Bob were jumbled up with pictures of us. I began to open the pictures one by one and noticed that in a few of her pictures with Bob, where they were cuddling and kissing, she was wearing a necklace, locket that I had given her as a birthday present in the second year we were dating. I had to borrow the money from my brother to buy it. I looked at the dates on the pictures and a pattern emerged. On the days and weekends when school required my undivided attention, the times when she went to her mother's house or her sister's house to give me peace and quiet, she was meeting up with Bob behind my back. I was furious. It felt like fire ants were chewing on my brain, my heart, and my guts. I wanted to punch through the walls, but then something snapped and I went numb. I began to see and think in very cold, analytical terms. I copied all of her pics, all of them, not just those I'd seen, to a flash drive. I packed a bag, grabbed some suits, took the thumb drive and went to stay with my brother across town. I left her laptop hard drive plugged into my PC with a picture of her kissing Bob on the monitor. The only note I left behind was a sticky note with an arrow on it pointing to the necklace locket. Wendy tried to call me from her mother's house, but I didn't answer. It wasn't until a few hours later, after she presumably got back to our apartment and saw the picture on the monitor, that she blew up my phone with VMs and texts. I ignored them all. I've already met with another associate who works in the family law department about separation and divorce. We have no children or real property, since a lot of our money went to paying off my loans and for her tuition. My firm circled the wagons around me so her calls go to VM. She's not allowed onto the property. Wendy tracked me down at my brother's house, but he made it clear to her on the phone that if she tries to come over, he'll set his Dobermans on her. He told me she was screaming, sobbing, and begging on the phone. It didn't make me sad or happy or anything. I felt nothing. My marriage is over. I've accepted that. But it's been 2 days and I still feel nothing. No pain, no anger, nothing. How is it possible that I have no more feelings for her? No desire to ever see her again. No desire to reconcile. Now that I'm alone with my thoughts, feeling this nothing for her scares me. Is this going to last? Am I still in shock? Am I permanently broken? The upside is that I've never seen clearer solutions in my cases. Key date #1. First, let me thank everyone for your replies. I'm overwhelmed by the positive responses and want to thank everyone who's experienced the same numbness for sharing with me. It helps to know that it's a normal response. I'll look into individual counseling in the near future. The associate at my firm handling my case, let's call her Gail, reviewed the other pictures on the flash drive and found quite a few where Wendy is cuddling, kissing Bob, and the engagement ring I gave her is easily discernible. When I was told this, I didn't feel any pain or anger, only elation. I smiled. Oddly enough, I asked Gail why this awful news made me happy. She said that it's because it vindicates every action I've taken since I left. I've been NC with Wendy and all communications have been through Gail, except for her family and friends who mistakenly think my brother and his wife will be a sympathetic ear. Gail's already prepared a separation agreement and scheduled a meeting with Wendy on Thursday afternoon. Gail made it clear to Wendy that if she isn't represented by counsel, then I won't be attending. A word about Gail. I can't post her firm nickname, but let's just say if you think Pit Viper, you get the right idea. I'm glad she's on my side. We'll be filing the petition for divorce shortly. Gail believes any spousal support will be minimal and end quickly. The only significant asset we have is the account with our savings for a down payment on a house. But it's a dual signature account with no ATM access. My Sil went over to my apartment when Wendy was supposed to be at her part-time job to grab more of my clothes and personal items. She ended up listening to Wendy for a couple of hours. The Redditor who said Wendy would straight up lie about pretty much everything nailed it. The whole time Sil was packing up my stuff, Wendy was telling one easily provable lie after another, getting nowhere. Wendy asked Sil, "Isn't there a guy in your background that just gets inside your head and you can't say no?" So, I guess that's my answer to why she cheated. Bob is a Jedi and Wendy is weak-minded. By the way, Sil did answer her question. Yes, I married him. Spending time with my brother's family has kept me from feeling isolated. My nephews are crushing me in video game and I'm enjoying every second of it. Work's going great and the partner who oversees my department stopped by to tell me that he's really proud of how I haven't let this personal issue negatively affect my work. Well, that's it for now. Thank you to everyone that replied with supportive posts. I can't explain how much it helps to know I'm not the only one to go through something like this or the apathy I feel toward my STBX.